Sup, bitches? This is Dom, and you're listening to the Games Only Podcast.
When you want to hear about games and only games, look no further. This is the Games Only Podcast, your number one source for video game news, reviews, and opinions. With HP 1703.
In death as in life, I shall honor my brothers.
Dr. Kumar.
The boss is here at last, boys.
And myself, Sunshine.
Fresh victim.
Games Only Podcast on iTunes and YouTube.
Hello and welcome to the Games Only Podcast, episode 41.
41.
Oh, thank you. I am your host this evening, HP 1703, and I brought with me my Wonder Book, which I can't seem to get this door open. To my east, a man who is spending all of his time in Nintendo Land, probably too much time, enough time to make it awkward. It's Dr. Gumar.
This screen on this Wii U is as big as my simple dick.
And to my south and west, a man who is watching all the esports that Shoot Mania can offer. It's Sunflower 4000.
41!
Wow, we're killing it already. Let's talk about
killing it.
Killing it. Let's talk about some games, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Looks like both of you have played a game that is a couple letters and a number. I'm going to assume it's Virtua Fighter 5?
Very good.
It's Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown.
Oh, it doesn't even say that.
Nope. We are lazy and don't type so well.
We can only type 3 symbols
Three
in a
letters
time.
at a time. So,
Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown is the last in a long line of revisions to Virtua Fighter 5. You can think of it kind of like all the different balance patches they'll put out for like Street Fighter. Well, Virtua Fighters had like 5 of them, maybe more, and each one of them adds new items, new costumes, and some of them new characters.
all right.
It's $15. It's on Xbox Live Arcade, which is a far cry from a $60 retail game. But here's the trick. You need to buy costume packs if you want to customize your dude and play dress up. And the costume packs, if you want to buy all of them together, it's $30 on top of your $15.
What? The costumes cost more than the game itself?
They do. Which, in a way, that seems bad. And then on the other hand, you're like, well, then I must be getting a hell of a bargain, right? But are you?
I would have bought this game for $60. I bought the costume packs, and the reason I did is because someone said that I cannot see their costumes if I do not have those costume packs. And
oh, wow.
I'm like, fuck this, I want to see everybody else's costumes, so I bought the costume packs. And then I made some of my own.
Nice. So, Virtua Fighter has a history of having very in-depth character creation. So are you guys able to create some really weird stuff? Like, what have you...
Oh, yeah. They give you all sorts of crazy items, and lots of thought was put into them as well. But the thing is, each character's got 5, sometimes 6 outfits.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, and you can make as many as you want. But the thing is, these items, they give you 500 to 1,000 items per character. Unique items, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got costume number A, or letter A, which is Sunflower sitting around the house after work in his denim pants.
Not his jeans, mind you, his denim pants.
Right.
Then you've got costume B, which is me in just my underwear. My costume B items will be different than my costume A ones because they're all geared towards my sexy underwear pose.
Oh. So, wait, so you you're unlocking items, so what are you paying for with this $30?
The items.
Yeah, you do not unlock any items by actually playing the game. The only way you get the items is by forking up them ducats.
And that's really the worst part of the game because there's no real draw to keep playing except for online play for the most part. And in previous Virtua Fighters, you earned all your items.
Yeah.
It would take forever, and you'd play all these different characters that were on the disc. Mm-hmm. In this one, you're just given everything at the beginning, and that's the only real negative there is. You're not working for anything. You don't get excited because you earned a pink bow tie, things like that. And what's weird is that my stance on this, wanting to unlock that stuff, is not shared by most of the fighting game community. They're all very happy that you don't have to waste time trying to unlock crap.
Is that you, Doc?
I kind of like the way they had you unlock items in the actual Virtua Fighter 5 Online, the other iteration, in which you would pretty much play a human being going to arcade and fighting other people with your Virtua Fighter character. And then
they had a big list of names, and you were trying to find everyone. There were achievements for beating every single person that was in an arcade. It was really nice. And all of the other characters are customized as well, which is going to take them forever to do. But they've all got their own little tweaks and their own little items, and you see that, you're like, oh, I hope I get one of those. And it was mostly random what you would get if you won one of the item battles, which is like, oh, whoever wins gets a treasure. Woo, woo. So it was, I don't know, it was always entertaining, it was always fun, and I really do miss that going away because it really let you practice the game and try out lots of different things, because the enemies that you fought in the arcade mode, for the most part, are not that tough. And you could vary what you're doing, try out new things, and I really do miss that.
And so this iteration of the game, having done away with all of that, what do they replace it with? Like, what is here?
Well, you've got a score attack mode, an arcade mode, you have special sparring if you unlock the item packs, which basically lets you play against lists of people that are customized, but the thing is, there's nothing that you can win, which is just the biggest problem out of that. Other than that, you got online play, you've got training modes,
there's a licensed mode, where
the license mode basically functions as, evade 7 attacks and beat your opponent. Little challenges like that.
Okay.
So it's certainly not as bare bones as I'm making it sound. It's very robust, and it's got a lot, especially for a $15 game. But a lot of the draw for me to continue playing is not going to be there, which is kind of a shame. But it is the final version of Virtua Fighter 5. It is a nearly perfect fighting game, and I love it to bits.
Doc, do you feel the same way about Virtua Fighter series?
Yeah, I mean, in general? It's probably the best 3D fighting game there is. It's amazing how much depth the game has with just having 3 buttons, a punch, a kick, and a guard button. So I'm always impressed with Virtua Fighter series. It always seems balanced. I mean, every character can beat every other character. There's no real, overall, superior character until you get up to, the extremely high levels of play, but there's still ways to counter the characters, so it's
and what's good about the game is that it gives you plenty of ways to figure out how. I remember an old argument that I saw on YouTube between 3 or 4 guys that someone was complaining that the game doesn't tell you what you're doing wrong and you can't learn. It's basically a bunch of garbage.
Oh, yeah, but it's the...
There's a milkshake,
Aqua
right?
Teen Hunger Force guys.
Yeah, they did some episode like that.
Yep.
And a lot of the complaints were made, you can't learn, I don't know why I'm losing, and when I lose, I don't feel like I'm learning anything. This game actively goes out of its way to give you all the tools, if you have the time. You have to spend a little bit of time to find out these things. I mean, you can't just be told, why did I get hit with that jump kick? Well, I'll tell you why. You have to look up jump kicks and go through their training, things like that. But it gives you all the tools that you need to grow with this game against a computer, not a human. I mean, you still obviously need to fight humans to learn how things are different, but as far as learning the mechanics of the whole system, everything is there, and it's a beautiful thing.
It does have one of the best training modes there are. Quick, easy resets. They show videos and button inputs for some of the moves.
So if you can't get your timing right, you can see how it's supposed to be done and exactly how they do it. They even have a visual where it shows a joystick on the screen and how they're hitting the buttons. So it's nice. It's nice to have that kind of stuff. When things don't make sense to you, you can make it make sense.
And that's included in this $15 version.
That's correct. The only things that are locked out of it, if you get the $15 version, you will not be able to do special sparring against the computer characters that have the items. You can't customize your character at all, and you only have 2 costumes per character.
How many characters are we talking?
19.
19? That's still
It's good. And they have great characters, too. I mean, you've got a big Rastafarian fisherman who isn't exactly a Rastafarian, but I think that's Sega's fault for not knowing what black people are like.
Yeah, there's no like copy and paste. There's no like Scorpion and Sub-Zero or
Nobody's
Ryu
similar
and
to each other.
Okay, no palette swapping.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
What is kind of an interesting turn I've always found is that the person who looks most like Ryu from Street Fighter, Kira, who wears a white karate gi, looks like Ryu. He's one of the most complicated characters to learn.
He is. I love playing him, but he's so fucking hard to play.
Yeah, so he's on the advanced scale. But there's flashy things, you've got a monk that likes to beat people's asses, you've got old man from China who's pissed off all the time, then of course you've got an old man who's a drunk, and the more you drink during the match, the more moves you can do.
Yeah.
Kind of neat.
I made him into a zombie with a red nose and a top hat.
Canadian wrestler, sumo wrestler, all sorts of fun people. So there is also Trial, by the way. Trial. Check it out.
Trials. All right. Well, so it sounds like big thumbs up from both of you.
Now, HP, are you somehow a PlayStation Plus member?
I am not.
If you were, you would get Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown for free with your Plus membership for June. So not the items, but the main game.
So people listening in the month of June can still do that if they're PlayStation Plus members?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. That sounds great. Definitely sounds worth it if you're into the fighting game genre.
Yeah, and even if you're not and you want something to play single player, this will do it. But let's be fair, Virtua Fighter 5 online, the disc-based game, is like $3 at GameStop. I really highly can recommend that for the price. Holy crap.
Yeah, if you don't want to play actually online, even though it does say online, and that it has a wonderful single player.
Yeah, and you're earning items, and there's still lots of items for everyone, but it's a far cry from the 1,000 plus.
Far cry.
Yeah, great game, lots of fun. Been enjoying playing with other people and seeing their creations, and you can save replays and upload them and fun things like that.
Yeah, sounds good. Speaking of playing with other people, I cracked open Lord of the Rings War in the North's co-op and played with our very own Dr. Gumar.
Hey, that's me.
Yeah, yes, honey. Yes, that is you. Also, friend of the show, Fuzzy. So, I don't know how much else to talk about this game, but the price just went down to $15 on Amazon, so I think for that price, if you're interested in this kind of like third-person action-y RPG, this is a really good
Dragon Age Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, and it is, and you get items that you can give to other people. Everybody, the loot kind of works like Diablo 3, where everyone gets their own loot in the game. So if you find a chest, everyone can take everything out of it, because the loot is separate. And then you can give the other people loot that you don't need that's character specific. And there's, I don't know, it's very, very deep, and it seems like a pretty lengthy experience. Doc, you said you were done with the game. Do you remember how long it took you to finish?
I can't remember. Probably somewhere on our back episodes, I might have said it. I want to say close to 40.
Yeah, it seems like a fairly deep game, and I am going backwards and helping friend of the show Fuzzy with his game, but there will come a point pretty soon where we'll be at the same place, and then we'll just keep going and finish out the game that way. And yeah, I can't recommend this game enough, especially at $15, and especially if you have people to play with.
Well, you know what they say, $15 make you holler.
That's what they say. Doc, you didn't play this co-op at all your first time through, did you?
I did. I
okay.
think I had Maxim.
Oh yeah, Maxim. That's right.
Game. The only problem with this co-op, yeah, this hip-hop, dance, drop, yo-yo, make a wicked cup of cocoa. The problem with this co-op is that if you play through the single player and you want to play as the one character, I was playing as the dwarf. If HP decided to play as the dwarf through his game, I wouldn't be able to join it as that character. You know, I would have to pick one of the other two people. So that's the only real downfall I see.
Do you know if you would be the same level with those other characters?
I think I would be the same level 24 or whatever it was. I just maybe wouldn't have good items. I don't know.
Oh, right, unless you had given your AI partners the items.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, well, yeah, I think you can respec, however, in this game. So if
it costs money to respec. It's like a $10,000 gold piece respec coin or something like that.
Booyakasha.
Yeah.
But I'm to the point, and I'm only level 18 or 19, where money is kind of no object to me in the game.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take long to amass quite a bit of money, because you just sell all your loot that you don't need, and I recommend this game. Yep, that's it.
I will get it someday. I saw it one night for $8.99 at GameFly, and for some reason it bugs me. I'm like, I'm not gonna pay more than $8.99. It'll go back to $8.99 one of these days. $8.99, and I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
See, HP, this is where the problem lies. Any game that I recommend, Sonny will not play. Flat out won't play. That's serious.
I bought the first Templar. I just haven't.
I
played
did not
it.
want you to buy the first Templar. I didn't
Cursed
play that
Crusade.
one. You're supposed to play the Cursed Crusade, you dummy.
Yeah.
Crusaders, Templars.
The first Templar was the bad one that everybody said bad things about.
Yeah, I saw the Cursed Crusade is like 12 or 13 on Amazon, I think.
And
And it's even less on GameFly. And I'm almost there, but my backlog is so huge that I can't, yeah. Anyway.
Say about my front log.
Hi-yo. Sonny, tell me a little bit about this game that I've never heard of before.
Oh, it's on the iPhone.
Okay, so what is Plague Incorporated on the iPhone?
It's $1, and it's number 1 on the top 25, and you basically make a virus and infect the world. You can do things like evolve it so it transmits itself easier. You can choose what kind of symptoms that it will display, what it will infect, like, rats or birds, and how it's going to spread. And they also give you different types, like you start out as a bacteria, and if you can kill everyone on Earth, then they'll let you, this next one you're going to be a fungus, and each one of them has its own unique little challenges in trying to get it spread and have it kill people. While people freak out and try to cure it, the more people you start killing, the quicker they try to research it, because, hey, that's pretty important stuff. So, it's a challenge, it's fun, it's $1. If you have an iPhone or an iPad, you might as well pick it up, because I've actually enjoyed it, and I was very surprised. Looked nice, very sharp little game. And that's all I've got to say about that.
Oh, okay.
It's about indicative of the price, and it's an iPhone game, so it gets about 1 minute of talk. Only fair, the dollars to minute ratio here. But I've been playing it quite a bit, so it's got some staying power. It's $1.
Okay. Have you been playing anything else?
Skin Flute. Besides that, maybe with myself, and I've bent over very well. Been playing NCAA still, and I've just the usual suspects. I sent back that shitty Naruto game because it was shitty, and then I looked online to see, am I crazy? And everyone was like, "Man, they half-assed this one." I was like, "All right, cool."
Okay.
So yeah, it was half-assed. I'm still trying to beat Rage. Short-ass game.
Oh, yeah.
I've got big problems getting through it. It's taking me forever.
We were talking about it before the show for a little bit, and I think you're almost there. I think you're almost done.
I've got to be.
So it can't be more than an hour from where you are, I don't think.
It looks so good, and it's so smooth. I love the hell out of that game. It's really good.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's dirt-ass cheap now, so you really should pick it up.
Cheap. And maybe we'll get some of the co-op stuff in, because I'd never tried it when it came out.
It might cost money, though. I'm not sure. I have no idea. We'll find out. Whatever. We'll find out. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Hey, slapping you around. Come on.
Doc,
Stay with me.
Doc, have you played anything else?
I played a little bit more Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Uh,
How far would you say you are in the game?
I'm in like chapter 8, and maybe that's like 15 hours into the game.
8 of 64.
I have no idea how many chapters there are.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the combat is pretty tough, pretty tiresome. But the story's really good, simply because you don't know who the fuck's going to betray you next, just like every single chapter in Game of Thrones.
Oh, right. I was going to say this podcast, but yeah.
I tend to like movies for the same reason. The more twists it gives me, the better it must be, right?
Yeah, this is like a gnarled old oak tree.
I'm just kidding, though.
Yeah, so
I like a straightforward story, like Burt Reynolds and Cop and a Half. Straightforward.
So you didn't like Mission Impossible at all?
I wouldn't know. That was too far beyond what I'm into.
What about RoboCop? That had a twist right in the beginning.
It almost lost me with that one.
We're not talking about movies.
Well, he brought up Game of Thrones.
Damn it. Okay, so Game of Thrones. It honestly has no indication to you about how far you are in the game.
The two main characters are about to meet up with one another.
Okay.
And when that happens, I don't know what's going to happen.
Sparks will fly,
yeah,
romances in the air.
I don't know if they're going to be friends or enemies. I have no idea.
They're going to give each other kisses and make children.
They're both
how it works,
grizzled
kids.
old dudes.
Your mommies and your daddies gave each other kisses, and now here you are. All right. Well, I'll be interested to hear a little bit about that game when you finish.
I think it's a really good companion to the novel and the show, simply because it is canon. George R. R. Martin helped write the story. He said I fully support this. This is in the universe. So
is it a prequel to the novels and show?
Yeah, it's prequel. It happens before the stuff, and I think maybe it happens before and during stuff in the first novel.
Okay.
Because pretty much the first novel starts off with the Hand of the King dying, and this a
Spoilers.
little bit before the hand. Well, it's like the first, the second or third word. No,
Spoilers.
It's not. But it's right there in the beginning. So this is like right around that time period. So it's right near the start of the novels.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. The show, the end of season 2 is really good.
I wouldn't know.
Oh, you should pay that $25 for HBO Go. Oh wait, you can't.
I can't.
Oh.
Right. Have you played anything else, sir?
A lot of Marvel, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I like punching dudes and hitting them with fireballs.
Yeah.
HP, I got to know from you. I mentioned earlier this week in a tweet that I haven't picked up Diablo 3 all week because my heterosexual life partner and I,
Locke Vincent of Locke
he's been out of town. Not that it matters what town he's in.
Out of his country into our country.
He's been at E3, and I haven't played without him around for some reason. What have you done? Same thing, or have you gone back?
Yeah, I have not picked up Diablo triples.
Diabloing shit up.
Yeah, not this week. I haven't played a whole lot of anything this week, to be honest.
I'd like to change that. Let's get together.
Wonder Twin powers activate. Form a bucket of water.
Shape of cat. What were you? Okay,
I
right.
always thought Wonder Twins was like a clever nickname for a woman's,
Oh, no. No, there was a TV show where the dude could turn into any kind of water and the chick could turn into any kind of animal.
Which seems so unbalanced, but he always made the best of it. He's like ice, and then the guy would trip and fall on him, and then his cheetah sister would just maul the guy.
Right. It's a stupid show. Why are we talking about this? Hello, welcome to American Nightmare episode 20.
So where's
20?
Where
2020? 2020?
Where's Lock Vincent this week?
Electronic 3.
Electronic Entertainment Expo.
Something about that place.
Yeah, so let's transition and talk a little bit about E3. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you have probably kept up with E3. But we'll just offer you kind of general thoughts on what we saw, what we liked, and what we thought was dumb.
Let's start with Microsoft.
Okay. Let's start with Microsoft.
They were the first people to do a press conference, and they opened it with Halo 4.
They did indeed. What did you guys think of Halo 4?
I don't give a fuck about it.
I don't
Hell
about it.
I think that might be how I feel about that game. When time comes around, maybe I'll care more. Usually what happens with E3 is I see these games, I'm like, well, it's coming out in 3 years. I don't really care. Obviously Halo's a bit sooner than that, but still, it's like, maybe a month away I'll start caring about it.
I appreciate the fact that there are going to be different kinds of enemies in this game.
Yeah, Metroid Prime enemies.
Right. Well, I really enjoyed the part where Master Chief throws a grenade and the little like floating robot thing like grabs it and throws it back. I thought that was good because Halo has always been a little bit more like kind of assessing a situation and kind of, I don't want to say a puzzle, but it's less Call of Duty. It's something different. It's like there's a better way to approach certain enemies, you know, like
you can fight stupid or you can fight smart.
Right. Taking shielded enemies, shields down with one weapon, quick switching to, a ballistic weapon and shooting them quickly. I mean, there are better ways to attack enemies in Halo, and that kind of sets it apart from the modern shooters. So I appreciate that there will be a new enemies and kind of new ways of approaching situations. And it looks real pretty. It looks real good. Sonny, thoughts?
I say to myself, I'm not going to be there day one. Halo's fun. I always enjoy the games, but I'm not going to be there day one, and then I end up there on day one just for the hell of it.
I'll probably be the same. No problem.
We'll see what happens. Of course, I won't lie to people and say, I don't give a fuck about Halo. So I'm not a dirty liar. I'll tell you straight up.
Hey, what are you trying to say?
I think that you like Halo more than you want to admit.
I like the multiplayer because normally we get a big group together and we all play together. It's a fun time. The story isn't half bad. Reach had a really excellent story. I just don't really see where Halo 4 is going to go. So.
Actually,
to the planet of the bugs.
When I hear a lot more about it and see a lot more, I'll figure it out. Right now, I don't really care. It's too far away. Is it this fall?
I believe so.
Year.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's still even too far away for me to think about it.
Well, not really.
For me. Maybe for you guys, since you guys have to plan ahead how to siphon out your money. I just take a $60 bill off my stack of $60 bills and just slap it on the table.
Anything coming out this year feels so soon to me. I'm like, wow, already? Okay.
Right, because, basically we've got June, July, August, and then September, when kind of Madden hits, is when games start coming out.
By the way, Madden's dead. Just letting you know. Speaking of Madden.
John Madden passed away?
No.
Oh.
They demoed Madden 13.
They did, indeed.
With NFL great Joe Montana using Kinect commands and a controller. Mm-hmm. That man's not played a video game probably ever.
Except maybe his own.
Yeah, so, I really wish they would have, I know it may be tough to pick and choose who you want to have come on your stage and introduce something, because you want to have a certain amount of clout with who you bring out there. And Joe Montana, arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
I would argue for that.
I would argue against you. But so they got him on stage, and it was a really poor showing because you had connect delay with the voice commands. You call out your play, which is cool and all. That's fine. But there's like such a pronounced and noticeable delay that you can't really fight because, I mean, that's the way Connect is.
Right. Well, so I got like 3 things to say about what you just said. The first is there are better people.
Shit.
Well, yes, but there are better people for this. They actually have a tournament with real NFL players every year, the Madden Bowl.
Oh, like younger ones?
Right.
Play the game?
With actual. So there are actual football players they could have gotten to do this demo.
Yeah, but
play
do
this
have that
game
same
well.
kind of cloud as Montana?
Well, probably not, but at least they'll know how to use the system.
You know what still bugs me? Seeing an old ad for like NFL Quarterback Club on the Nintendo and John Elway's holding the controller all wrong. Oh, it still bugs me.
That's just like he held the football all wrong.
You know what? Who beat the Packers in the Super Bowl and retired with
hole? Shut
All
your
right.
face hole.
All right, we need to stop.
So the other thing is, I think the bad thing about the Kinect commands is that you have a play clock. You have a 24-second clock where you have to call commands out verbally, wait for the Kinect to recognize it. You have to call, like, Montana was calling out a specific player and giving that player a different route to run. So
Which is a cool idea.
Right, it's a great idea. But he had to, so he's saying Crabtree, and then it takes the Kinect a second or two, and then he's like streak, and it takes the Kinect another second or two, and if you have to do that more than 2 or 3 times before a play, you're going to run out of time.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, you just want to yell it like hot route, and then it's done, and you throw the ball.
I think it can be done faster, maybe, but it's not ready. This iteration of Madden may not be ready for the Kinect.
I'd say this iteration of Kinect is not ready.
I bet he can use the controller to do it faster than using the Kinect.
Right. Oh, yes, definitely. I like the immersion of it, though.
Because you can go up there and you can be like, 42 Billy, and they'll be like, all right, well, let's run the Billy play.
And then you can yell fake outs to the defense, and they'll be like, oh, snap, what's going on?
I want to know how it differentiates. So he was calling the snap count, and I want to know if you can fake hike the ball, fake snap. If you can use your cadence to draw the defense off sides.
Dude, I would not bet on it.
Yeah, they would have to program the AI to be that stupid.
A certain percentage.
Too bad.
Yeah.
That's too bad, because that would get me, something like that would get me where I could be in my living room audibleizing and
trying to trick a computer.
Maybe against like a human, possibly,
I don't know.
Now, speaking about calling out play calls, they also demoed Splinter Cell Blacklist. That also uses Kinect. Then you can yell at guards to get their attention.
That's right, I saw that.
Hey, you guys over there, look at me.
But how does it, I don't know how it differentiates between, like, when people were just talking and when they're trying to get the guard's attention.
Good question. Because I also wonder when a little bastard child runs screaming through your house if all the enemies look at you.
Well, if the little child yells, connect, get the guard's attention, then that might be it.
Well, in the demo, it was just, he literally said, hey, you, or something like that.
Yeah, it was like,
hey, you with the shirt, over here.
Right. And honest to God, I know it's a video game convention, but if I'm in, like, Iraq or Iran or wherever they're supposed to be, and I hear in English, hey, you, I'm going to have my gun ready. I'm not going to be like, what was that? Like, I'm going to fucking turn around and shoot shit.
You make a bad soldier.
Are you trying to say that all the Arabs hate English.
Hey, look, World War II, if someone starts yelling German behind USA lines, people
Right,
are going to
like-
open fire.
Yeah. Hello. So whatever.
Language wars.
Splinter Cell Blacklist. I can't tell if I'm really excited for it or if I think it looks like something that's not going to work like they think it's going to work. Basically, Sam Fisher now, instead of being all stealthy, can like mark some dudes and just run into a room and stab guys and shoot.
Well,
them.
he could do that in the last one, too. The mark and execute.
Yeah, but it was.
And now he can call a bomb strike onto them.
Well, it also really depends on what kind of scenario they're giving you and how much power they're giving you as Sam Fisher. In the previous one, you couldn't do that because you were doing a lot more stealth. This one seems a lot more war-gamey.
Now, talking about Sam Fisher, do you guys care that Michael Ironsides is not the voice?
I do. It bothers me.
I found out why, though, which makes sense.
Is he drinking again?
Basically, he sounds really old right now, and this is not really a prequel, but this is set earlier than the other Splinter Cell games, and he really just sounded like an old fart.
Well, let's hope he sounds older than he did in the first game. He is aging a bit.
I think they should have at least tried to get someone who sounded like Ironsides would have earlier in his life. Like, the guy they got for Sam Fisher sounds nothing like the Sam Fisher that we know.
My question is, why isn't this a new IP instead? They could have done that.
Also a good question, because they knew it would sell with Splinter Cell on
there you go. Good point.
the box. But I don't think Mark and Execute was mobile in the last game. I think you hit the execute button and he would stand still and shoot. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Like that. It might have even been contextual, depending on where you are. Like if you're holding off of a ledge, you peek up and you go beep beep, and then go right back. So
yeah.
I honestly don't remember well enough. I need to go back to Conviction because that was a good game. But you mentioned yelling at people in different languages.
Mm-hmm.
Now your Kinect can listen to you yell in different languages. They also announced that it can support a whole spectrum of languages and that they programmed that in, so that's nice for all the international people that have been tricked into getting a Kinect.
Wonderbow.
Wunderboken. Yeah. So
there's not really much to say about that. I just thought it was a very tasteful way to move from subject to subject.
Correct. And
now,
what?
Well, I like transitions, but go ahead, HP.
No, when they were talking about that, they were also talking about all the ESPN connection stuff.
Yeah, a bunch of new apps.
And then they moved right into Smart Glass.
Smart Glass!
Smart Glass.
Which HP, you don't like the name?
It's one of the dumbest names.
Why? Because it rhymes with fart ass.
It's just really dumb sound. It sounds really dumb.
Is it because they don't have a space between smart and glass? Yeah, glass is capitalized.
Nope. It's to me, Smart Glass sounds like something you put on your house because it insulates better than regular glass. Like Smart Glass doesn't convey any kind of technology to me.
Okay.
Well,
it is smart.
The reason that they chose that is because you use your smartphones with it or your tablets.
But glass, what does glass have to do with the Xbox?
It's a glass-like texture.
No, it's a stupid name.
What would you name it?
Anyway,
what would you name it, motherfucker?
Hey, if they want to pay me money, as much money as whoever they paid,
you don't have a good idea then.
I don't have a better idea.
Have a good idea. Yeah, okay.
But
okay.
Glass is fucking
name
stupid.
doesn't matter. Implementation, what it's supposed to do.
How about Smart Windows, motherfucker? If we're going to talk about glass,
Microsoft already made Windows,
and it doesn't
Windows
doesn't need to be a Windows operating system.
Fuck you guys.
Look,
anyway,
here's what it does. If
right.
somebody programs it into the 360, and here's the beauty of this. Smart Glass works on your smartphone or your tablet or your iPad, things like that. So this is the most important part. My dog is trying to lick my head, so if I go weird, it's because the dog is safe.
Are you talking inverted right now then?
Almost. She's attacking me. But what it does is it's supposed to serve content to your device, not a ton of content. Just think about it like if you were watching a movie and were like, who the hell is that guy? I recognize that asshole. Right. You would get your smartphone, you'd look it up on IMDb while you watched the movie.
Which is what I do anyway.
Right, and I do that too. A lot. A lot more than I care to admit. I'd rather be doing two
I
things.
literally have IMDb open while I'm watching anything.
Oh, well, I only do it if there's, like, reason.
Nope. Because I'm always like, where did I see that bitch before?
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
But it's
Favorite.
really the same kind of concept, though, where they can deliver, you know, again, it depends on what they program in. They can deliver content to you through the internet, through a smart glass device, then it kind of talks to your 360. So I got to thinking about what kind of neat stuff that this could do, and I was thinking about asymmetrical gameplay. Could you imagine if HP had an iPad and we were sitting on the couch together, best of friends, time to play a little Madden, HP? What do you think? Okay,
that sounds great.
Let's play Madden.
Okay.
I'll be the quarterback and you be the coach. You sit there with your tablet. You choose the plays. I have to play with your friends. I think that kind of cooperative aspect is interesting, where it's not necessarily two people doing the same thing. They have different jobs. They even have different controllers in this case. Furthermore, other ideas I've been thinking about, and, you know, this does depend on the developer, and we haven't seen very many examples, especially not from game developers, how this could work. But having the other player, like, look up information for you while you're in a game, think about all those stealth games where you have a female voice on the other
Right.
line that's telling you all this background stuff.
Grim.
But if you had to depend on your cooperative partner to do that sort of thing for you instead of letting the game do it, I think that would be interesting. I don't know if it would be better, but I think it would be a cool new aspect, and I'd like to see some of that.
See, originally we were thinking Smart Glass as like a codex for Dragon Age or Mass Effect 3, and now you're thinking of it as like another controller for somebody?
Sort of, but not a controller in the same...
yeah, it's not going to be two-player game. They're a completely different
it's
role.
It's like how the second player in Super Mario Galaxy 2 can, like, find little stars in the level while you actually play the game. It's that kind of partner co-op that I really like, where the other person's not doing the same thing, but they're still helping you. So I think that's a cool idea.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great idea. It's something like... You mentioned last week watching a friend play Max Payne 3.
Yes.
And it would be something where, you know, the one player could be playing and the other player could be, I don't know, whatever. Like there are co-op sections or maybe you're a spotter for a sniper or something like.
Well, and I was even thinking of, like, Alpha Protocol, how that's a stealth game and you could get into conversations with people and they all react differently depending on what kind of approach. The other person maybe could have the dossier open and let you know, oh, watch out, don't be aggressive with this guy. The guy is a dick, and try to study them, and because it's, you know, a timed conversation area. I just think there's all sorts of cool potential. And, you know, we're going to see dumb things, like, say Max Payne 3 comes out with a special Smart Glass edition or whatever, and you have your iPhone displaying a kill count of how many people you've killed, or the person you just killed, where they got shot, stuff like that. I think there's a lot of cool potential to it, but the problem that this is going to have is that it's coming awfully late in the Xbox's life cycle, and I don't know if people are going to give enough of a shit of it until they see the next Xbox.
See, but that's not that's
significant.
not really much of a problem because you already have the device. It's not like they're waiting for sales.
Right, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about it. We've already got something that will work with this.
Right.
So, no extra cost. It's just, hopefully the developers, you know, do a little experimentation and give us something cool.
Yeah, and they did show HBO Go integration with Game of Thrones, where while you're watching the episode, there's an interactive map kind of showing you where they are and giving you some information. And that stuff like that, I just think is going to be awesome. Like that.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it for apps where you can cast votes which they have voting ability in ESPN3, but it's very bare bones right now. It's
Right.
like, who do you think will win the game? And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I'm watching badminton at 4 in the morning. I don't know if anyone else is voting.
The Taiwanese team, I think, is going to win.
But it would be fantastic to be able to look up real-time stats, things like that. All the stuff that you can sometimes see on the screen when they decide to show it to you, but instead giving you that kind of control. And they've actually got it kind of embedded in services like MLB.TV, where you can look at all the stats as you watch the game. But this would put it on your own little device and wouldn't interrupt anybody else.
Right, it
Which is
wouldn't
cool.
It wouldn't clutter your big screen TV with all this other stats and stuff. You just have it, in your lap. I think something like that could be really interesting, and I could be very excited for it. I'm going to transition here, if that's all right. So the way you're talking about this asynchronous controller reminds me of the Wii U, which they have shown a bit more at this E3. What do you guys think of the Wii U? Yes! Right?
I know one thing. I'm not going to get it day one because I don't want to get burned, and I have the feeling that it's going to just be a repeat of how they did things with the Wii, where there were very few games that I was interested in, and they would eventually put out good ones, and they would have very solid games. The Wii does have very solid games. You can get a lot of gameplay out of a Wii, but I just don't trust it yet.
The one thing that I've seen from the Wii U that had me kind of interested, this stupid, and I call it stupid already, I hate zombie games. And that Zombie U game or whatever that's coming out.
Zombie U, that's exactly it.
Which is a stupid title. But there's something inside that I think is really cool. If you die in that game, your character becomes a zombie, and then you have to play as a different character, and you will eventually come across your past character who is dead, who still has all your stuff. So you'll have to, kill your previous character self to get all your stuff back. And I thought that was a really cool mechanic that I am surprised has never come up before. Maybe it has and I just didn't know it, but that's awesome. That has nothing to do with the Wii U itself. I just think that's a great gameplay mechanic.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm just skeptical about the hook. The controller and the screens is the hook for the Wii U. And I'm sick of dumb hooks like that. I just want a beast of machine that I can play a game on a regular ass controller. Don't have to worry about anything weird going on. So the Wii U isn't very flashy to me.
I can't imagine not breaking a Wii U controller. In all honesty, because it's like glass and it's big and it's bulky and
it's big and it's bulky. This is very true.
I don't know. I just I unplugged my Wii from my TV over a year ago, and I have not had an inkling to plug it back in, and this is not doing it for me either. I don't see myself day one or even month one.
Well, let me tell you what sounds good though. The
What's
3DS.
that? Yes.
Yeah,
want a game
that's
for
sounding
3DS
more
looks
and more
like it's
appealing
delivering.
to me.
So what are some games coming out for the 3DS that have piqued your interest, sir?
Luigi's Mansion.
Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror Fate.
Mm-hmm.
New Super Mario Brothers 2? 2, yeah.
Yes.
New Super Mario Brothers 2. They also unveiled a Super Mario Brothers Wii U. New Super Mario Brothers Wii U. Damn, I don't even know what they call it anymore.
Yeah,
The one that's got lots of gold in it is for the 3DS.
With the stereotypical Italians and that one.
The Mario cast.
Yeah.
I also have a feeling that this is the year I will end up picking up a 3DS.
That thing's got to be pretty cheap by now, isn't it?
They had it down to $149.
That's not bad.
Oh, they did. Okay.
I don't know if it still is. It might be up to $170.
My only problem is I have a DS. I've had it for about a year and a half, and I haven't really used it that much.
See, I've got a DS Fat still.
Yeah, I have a DS Lite.
I need to upgrade.
180 is the 3DS, around 180 right now.
Okay, so $179.99.
Yeah, so if they want near the holiday season, if that's $150, I might be very tempted.
Okay. Well, speaking of handhelds, let me tell you one handheld that looks like it's in trouble is the PS Vita.
Vita, yes.
Oh boy, Sony's press conference did not inspire much confidence in Vita owners.
Did they have anything for the Vita?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, you can use it as a controller for PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Yeah,
It's also own the game.
Crossplay with PlayStation Smash Brothers.
Yes.
Yeah. And Little Big Planet's gonna have it too.
Okay.
And as far as individual games,
they didn't show Black Ops Declassified.
Yeah, and you know what the funny thing is? They announced that last year, and the only thing they announced about it this year is that it has a subtext. That's it. They showed no gameplay.
They did show gameplay for the Assassin's Creed kind of Vita tie-in with Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh yeah, that looked pretty good with the female protagonist.
Yeah, she's in New Orleans.
I don't have high hopes at all for that because let's not forget every single mobile Assassin's Creed game has been farmed out to a B team has been garbage.
You sound angry about that.
Well, you know, I played the one for DS. I played the one for the PSP. Horrible games. They just weren't any good. And I don't know why this would be any different. They are pretending like it's going to be a major entry in the series, but it's not. It's not a major entry. It's just another side story that takes place, you know, off to the side of what's really going on the big boy consoles.
Right. Do you want to talk about Assassin's Creed on the big boy consoles, or should we bury the Vita some more?
The Vita's about as buried as it can get.
It's burying itself, man. We don't need to do it.
Well, and we really expected something. Near the end of the PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale video, they showed Nathan Drake and they showed the Big Daddy from BioShock 2, I believe. I don't know if it was the first or second one. And I was like, oh, they're going to announce a new Uncharted and a new BioShock for the Vita. That's cool. Nope, they were characters in Sony Dick Smash Brother. Yeah, hell.
Sony Dick Smash Brothers.
So
that
you
game
can have
looks so
Parappa
bad.
the Rapper Dick smash his dick against a Big Daddy if you want.
That game looks so bad to me. Just
Yeah,
It does. It looks.
I'm not really a fan of Smash Brothers type games, but that doesn't even look like a necessarily good Smash Brothers type
It's so
game.
bad that PlayStation, when they put the trailer out for their YouTube video, tagged Smash Brothers.
Ooh,
That's how much they know it's like Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
And it's a completely different thing, the two companies, because whereas Nintendo could set up shop in New York and say, we're going to make a Nintendo museum, you go, oh, they have a rich cast of characters, lots of interesting trivia for this time-honored franchises that Nintendo has put out. Sony says, I'm going to make a Sony museum. You go, what the hell would you put in it?
Yeah.
So, I know it sounds like I'm being butthurt out. I'm like, phony, but really, they just...
You sound butthurt.
They smothered the Vita with a pillow. It's just bad. It's just bad.
I think everyone expected them to finally put the full force behind Vita development this year and show, like, 10 or 12 games for it.
Well, and it kind of reminded me of like a couple years ago when we were like, oh, they're announcing the PSP 2. It's finally happening. And they get on the stage and they're like, I know that you guys really enjoy the PSP, but and we're like, oh, here we go. Here we go. We're announcing a new ad campaign with Marcus. You know, the
Black Child.
The stereotypical sassy. He had lots of it was just embarrassing. We were like, well, I guess no PSP too. And what's even weirder is that Sony had just signed a contract acquiring the third-party kind of game server of Gaikai, which does streaming of games, and their plan is to stream PS2 games to your PS3, so you don't have to have a backwards compatible one, but you can just play them.
Like OnLive?
Just like OnLive.
Yeah, but a lot better. Because
okay.
OnLive is fundamentally flawed. It's got some serious issues. But
we love our friends at OnLive. Should they?
Do we have friends at OnLive?
We do have friends at OnLive.
We do, yeah.
Who do we have?
We'll talk about it after the show, but we have friends at OnLive.
Oh. Well, then I feel bad for saying the
Don't worry about it. They don't listen to our show.
Oh, well then no problem, whoever it may be. Big deal, OnLive. You have listeners I know that have used OnLive, but it really seems like one of those things where you have to be in the middle of a perfect storm to really use it right. You know, internet speed, and then you have to own certain games. You know, that sort of thing. But anyway, they had this agreement. They didn't mention anything about it in that press conference, which, what is happening?
Well, maybe they weren't ready to make any formal announcements. Maybe they haven't gotten.
It may have just happened too close.
Too recently, yeah.
Well, I think they needed most of their time to talk about Wonderbook.
They needed about 20 minutes, apparently, to talk about Wonderbook, and the tie-in with J.K. Rowling, who could not have been bothered to record a video.
No. She sent an email.
With a quote that they didn't even read all of. Anyway.
It's
Wunderbooken. It's this, like, augmented reality stuff like iPet, which kind of works-ish, but it really...
It's like Eye of Judgment when that had
Yes.
They'd have cards that you would hold up to the camera, and then you could see a little 3D version of the monster on it. Except now it's doing books and trying to tell you a story. I think it has a lot of potential, but that potential sure as shit was not realized on stage.
They had some problems, some issues with the soccer moms that they decided to let demo this at E3.
Not a single enthusiastic child. I don't know if Connectimals ruined that or what.
Here's Skittles!
Yeah, they're all like 20-somethings, and...
You can't say Skittles without a hoodie.
I'll give you a hoodie. So, I have a niece and a nephew, and if they had a PlayStation 3, maybe I would be sort of interested in Wonderbook, but not really. This looked stupid and terrible and was a waste of, I don't know, like a fourth of their press conference.
Well, it went really long.
It went really long.
Yeah, you would think that if a company had a lot to talk about and a lot of good things on the horizon, you wouldn't be spending a lot of time on something like this. It made me think, wow, they really don't have anything else to announce in the first place. And secondly, boy, this is not really doesn't seem done, because this poor woman had to draw a 4 in front of the camera.
I think that was supposed to be an A, because she's casting the Lahamora. It's the unlocking thing, and that word starts with an A. So
this is where my smart glass would come in handy to.
This is where my smart glass. Yes.
Fact check this.
Anyway, I think she did unlock it correctly the first time, but you have to then like pull the doors open, and she was just like sitting there waiting for it to open by itself. I don't know.
Either way,
I
was
felt
not done
so
very
awkward. Well. I hate feeling awkward, and this woman made me feel awkward.
And you weren't
for
even
like
there.
5
You're watching
minutes.
it on a screen.
I know. I was in my apartment by myself, and I felt embarrassed.
And you were going, come
I want this to be over.
Give me the move. I can do this.
I was watching it with my my roommate, and she was like, "This is hilarious," and I was like, "Yeah, it's funny, but it's not like you laugh at it. It's like, oh, I can't wait to tell people about this crap."
So that was Sony's press
It
conference.
was Wonderbook, developed in Britain, of course.
Well, they did have Last of Us at the end.
That came after a way too long God of War Ascension demo as well, which felt very, very long in the tooth.
I think so. We were talking in an IRC when this was going on, and I basically said then, this God of War looks like a game I've already played, because basically it's not different than the God of Wars you've already played. There's nothing new here, and that's
not good, because for a while God of War was the standard for that style of game. We would always say it's a God of War style game.
Yes,
now, if it's a God of War style of game, it's going to be old and stale. So if you make a God of War game that's just like all the other ones, it's not going to be pretty.
Well, and another thing is that the PS3 has seen 5 God of War games come out for it. Not individual titles, but they have released 5 God of War games. So there's a reason why we're all a little tired here, you know?
Yeah.
They've released 1, 2, 3, and then the 2 PSP versions on, remastered HD. And I can only do so much chain swinging against enemies where they don't really react to it until I say, you know what? Kratos...
I would have been happy with God of War 3 being the end of this series.
Yeah,
Not that I didn't love Kratos and this series, but I'm done.
Well, and they'll say things like, well, this explores his origins before he was so angry. You know what? I don't give a shit about his character enough to give a crap. I really don't.
He's not a very deep character.
He's a terrible character. He's
unlikable.
Completely unlikable.
He needs a bath, first of all. He's covered in ash. That's just filthy. I can understand the war paint, but come on, just, wash up a bit.
My biggest problem with him is that he just acts like an idiot. A god will tell you, do not, under any circumstances,
eat these apples off this tree. Yeah, got it.
You don't want
Don't tell me what to do, God. God.
I don't know anybody that angry in real life. Not a single soul. So, I'm done. Stick a fork in me. But as Doc was saying, Last of Us, as otherwise known as Uncharted 3.5.
Well, when I Am Alive came out for Xbox Live Arcade, that was kind of game. It had ideas like this that were not very well executed, and you played it and you said, "Don't buy this," and I didn't. But Last of Us seems like maybe it's that kind of game done right.
It's like someone else stole the idea of I Am Alive and took it to Sony and didn't tell the I Am Alive people.
Right.
They're like, we're going to work on this over here, but no one will know.
Can we make this like Uncharted, but have it be like an escort mission for the entire game?
Well, the reason people are calling it Uncharted-like is because it does use the Uncharted engine. It is made by Naughty Dog, so there will be similarities and unfortunately reused assets from Uncharted as well, so they're trying to save a little money.
Right.
Which I'm okay with how expensive these games are starting to be made.
Yeah, that's really par for the course.
There's nothing wrong with that mashup, and I'm actually kind of excited about this game. I have heard... So I've seen the demo, but I heard that there are kind of non-violent ways to get around these situations as well. So I'm interested in getting more information and seeing kind of more video of kind of diplomatic ways or maybe stealth ways of getting around encounters.
That is interesting because it was just gratuitous violence, which I'm okay with.
I'm
alright in a video game shoot some guy in the teeth. I'm alright with that.
The demo was very violent, but I have heard that game that is not par for this court. That's a little atypical of the rest of the game.
I hope so, because when the man looked up and said, "Don't shoot," I said, "He's not going to show." He shot him.
He shot him in the face with a shotgun from about 6 inches away. You don't want to do that because you'll get, like, brain matter all over your face.
I mean, the big deal is, well, you know, you kill all sorts of people in Gears of War. These are people that are coming towards you, and it's a little bit more brainless. It doesn't feel as human. And I know this sounds kind of pretentious to say. It doesn't sound human for them to come after you like that. But the thing is, if they try to ground this in any kind of realism, unlike Gears of War, which HP has no problem saying this is the most unrealistic thing in the world, even though I think Marcus Phoenix is real, that does not matter. But Last of Us is grounded.
You think you are Marcus Phoenix, that's why. You're like, Marcus Phoenix is 6'7". I'm 6'7".
It's meant to be. No, but The Last of Us is grounded in reality, or is from what we've seen so far, at least.
Well, post-apocalyptic reality, and like I Am Alive, you know, at least the idea behind I Am Alive, where you go up to somebody and you don't know if they're going to try to shoot you and steal your stuff, or if you can, you know, barter with them, or, I mean, I'm hoping there's that in this game.
The kind of tension that you can't read.
Right. Yeah.
As opposed to everybody's an enemy.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
I think that really does a lot for Worlds 2 and changes how you play games.
And I think there's enough here, maybe not in that particular action-packed demo, but I think there's enough in this game to keep it on my radar.
Yeah, I'd say it's on my radar as well. I'm okay with the gratuitous violence, and looks like they do it extremely well, so I'm alright with that. I'm just saying. I'm okay with that.
So let's go from this game with a character that looks like Ellen Page to the game that actually has Ellen Page in it, called Beyond Two Souls, I believe, and it wins my worst subtitle of E3.
Oh, there had to be worse subtitles.
Which is saying something,
because this was like subtitle mania.
Yeah, there are some bad subtitles to games.
They should have just called this Heavy Rain 2 because they recycled one of their actors.
Heavier Rain.
Heaviest
Hail.
Rain.
They'll call this Hail.
You did play through Heavy Rain, right, HP?
I played through the entire thing.
Okay, and did you, Doc? I can't remember.
I did not.
Okay, HP,
it's so expensive.
the sheriff was Paco from the club.
This doesn't bother or annoy me as much as it seems to you.
It's just like, oh, it's Paco.
Hey,
the sleazy guy
they reuse actors. Spoilers. Yeah. Actors are reused in things.
like in the first Terminator movie, Arnold was
I can
bad
see
guy.
how this is an
in
important...
the second Terminator movie, he was a good guy.
I can see how this is an important thing to you, because this certainly does not feel like a game from what they showed. They said, this is real gameplay footage, and it looked like a movie to me.
The funniest part to me is they preface the demo by saying, we wanted to get Ellen Page because she's such a great actress.
And just went on. Did she shit out of that, or what?
She said like 2 words.
She was absolutely silent through this demo.
That's not to say that having lines means you're an actor. I know that you would agree with me completely, HP,
right.
that somebody who has no lines whatsoever still can turn in an incredible...
Yeah, these guys do the facial capturing, so that is Ellen Page making those strange, confused faces.
Except
this is not...
She was kind of vacant the whole time.
Yeah.
And gave almost no emotion whatsoever. It's just... that was not the demo to show if you're going to try to say Ellen Page is this fantastic actress.
I think what they were going for was trying to show off the graphical fidelity and wow people at that level, and hopefully no one was going to look any deeper.
I personally was not impressed by that coffee cup flying. That just looked horrible. It might have been the stream, but it just looked like it was not realistic at all. I mean, in a sense of... it's a coffee cup flying through mental powers. But besides that point, it didn't look like it followed an actual
trajectory.
It's picking on the coffee cup.
Dude, that's what I noticed, man. I'm like, man, fuck that coffee cup.
That's alright, I complained about Paco, and apparently I'm a bad guy for it.
Yeah, this is true.
Al Pacino should have only been in Dog Day Afternoon.
Attica.
You're a bad guy for many things. Yeah, they didn't show any gameplay to Beyond Two Souls, and I think that's got everybody really anxious because Heavy Rain didn't have a lot of gameplay. It was just kind of subtle.
They showed
See, here's what you
gameplay,
missed.
but they didn't have the movements on the screen. Like,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Slide your move
Supposed
up.
to shake the DualShock to move the cup.
Rotate the move into a frowny face to make a frowny face.
Hold down this circle to make your face like an O.
The circle button is your O face.
I don't
Hit the
think,
triangle to make the sign for a safety.
I don't think that this game's going to introduce anything new whatsoever. It's going to be the Heavy Rain engine, the Heavy Rain controls, and everything's going to be the same old. Which I'm still up for another ride like that. I'm still up for it. I'm interested in it.
The little ending bit after the actual gameplay, like the trailer part, looked kind of interesting, where she's being chased and she can kill people with her mind bullets.
But I also know going into this pretty much what to expect from that blowhard David Cage.
Blowhard David
He really is. And now all of a sudden it's got this new game coming out, and I'm saying, oh, Heavy Rain wasn't really all I wanted it to be. It didn't really work out right. This game, on the other hand,
sounds like a Molyneux.
He's trying
Right.
to sell his new game, and that's about it.
For all its flaws, I enjoyed playing through Heavy Rain. I'm glad that I did it. But it's not something that I played again after I finished it the one time. So this will probably be in that boat where I will enjoy playing it once and then never feel the need to go back.
Nothing screams rental like this.
Yeah. Yes. Unfortunately for them.
What about a video that showed a lot of gameplay? What about Watch Dogs?
Watch Dogs. This is maybe...
It's a very cool concept.
It's pretty much Enemy of the State, which came out in 1998. It took this long for somebody to make a game about it.
And Smart Glass can make this awesome, you bastard.
So, I have wanted a kind of open world feeling Grand Theft Auto type game set in Chicago for years.
Why? What makes Chicago so special?
It's the
'Cause
second
I live-
city. It's the second
Man,
city.
fuck you, Doc. Go back to your park bench.
Hey, my
Hey.
refrigerator box, huh?
No, I love Chicago, and I feel like it's architecturally interesting, and there are cool places you can go, and I just really, really want a game like this set in Chicago, and so when I saw that it was set in Chicago, I was like, I'm probably gonna play this, if not buy it, regardless of how
what
the
it
gameplay
is.
was.
SimCity Chicago, sign me up.
The most interesting part I found was, so you go through the demo as this one character, and you end up killing some dudes, and you're like kind of a bad guy, and then they pan up to another character, I think another playable character, who was basically watching you do that and coordinating with yet another character. And I think, so if you recall what Mind Jack was supposed to be, where in your single player game, other people could come in and be the enemies, in certain sections, which was not implemented well in Mind Jack, from what I hear. I don't think any of us played it. But it would be so interesting if you were the bad guy and there was a multiplayer element where people could come in your game as good guys trying to stop you. And if that's what this game is, I am super pumped.
See, I think this is more like you're a vigilante of sorts, and you have all these tools to try and find people down and track them down, and you get in trouble and get shot at. That's what this game looks like.
From what I've heard, you are a master hacker who basically can control the city itself for all intents and purposes. But when they say something like that, I can always think at the beginning, they're like, oh, they'll give you the first level where you do all this really awesome stuff with cameras, and you can summon not really summon, but, coordinate things, and then they take it all away, and you're all of a sudden the bad guy, and you have to slowly win it all back. That's I can't help but think that.
See, the problem I had with this game, this game looks excellent from what I saw, but it looks like there's way too much to do. way too many different ways to solve a scenario. Like he was kind of being chased out into the street, and there's guys with guns that are going to attack him, and it's like, well, you have like 50 options. You can hack this, you can go this way, and he decided to switch the traffic light to stop all of a sudden to cause a car pileup.
Which I thought was awesome.
That was really cool, but it's just like, if I'm playing this game, would I think to do that?
After seeing the demo,
sounds
you
like
would.
a limitation of your mind.
Yeah,
Oh,
but it's
shit.
just like there's a lot of options, and maybe there's the correct options, and maybe there's options that'll just get you dicked over. And with that many options, it's kind of hard. Even like when he's trying to escape, and he's like, "Oh, well, I know up ahead there's a bridge, so let's raise the bridge." It's like, what the hell? It's just like there's a lot of learning. I think that's going to be need to play this game.
Hey, you know what else has got an option? Super Mario Brothers. You ever try and run left?
So I don't think that's an
So
option.
what do you guys think about the kind of the end of this demo where it showed other characters? Do you think that's like, what do you make of that?
These are going to be your enemies. That's all
Are they going to be playable characters, or
I wouldn't bet on it. I just
Okay.
think that they're going to be generic type of enemies. I just have this, I don't know, we'll see what happens with the story, but I can't help but think, yes, they will take your powers away and you will have to get them back.
all right?
You'll have to upgrade your motherboard in order to control the traffic lights.
I'll upgrade your mother's board.
My mother's a classy lady.
And my mother is bored with your performance.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
So yeah, that's Watch Dogs. What else do we want to talk about, guys?
I don't know.
It feels like I'm missing something.
Gears of War Judgment trailer. A lot less was shown of this than I expected.
Yeah, especially, isn't this coming out early next year?
Yeah, it is soon. So I really expected, especially with what they did waste their time on, like Xbox Music, you know. I expected a 3-minute gameplay video, some kind of gameplay teaser, but got nothing.
And they also showed Black Ops 2, which I haven't seen that.
It was about
demo.
8 minutes.
But yeah, for some reason I really liked Black Ops, the first Black Ops, and I think it was because people that I like to play online with loved it so much.
But now you have Diablo with us.
Diablo triples. Yeah, so Black Ops 2 will be probably the same thing that you're used to from a Call of Duty game.
Yeah, every single time I say, no, I'm not going to get it, and then I get the game and I play it with friends. But for Modern Warfare 3, I haven't done that yet. I haven't really played it with friends. So I might pass on Black Ops 2 because of that.
Yeah.
I think it's the glory is gone.
The glory is gone.
Yes.
As is the love from our marriage.
Well, it was always more of a lust than a love, I think.
We haven't talked about Far Cry 3 at all. They showed some more single player stuff. They showed a weird, awkward feeling for me demo where you're basically being straddled by a topless woman, which
that doesn't sound awkward to me.
It's just, I don't know, it kind of, I felt uncomfortable watching knowing that there were like millions of other people. It's just weird.
So you
It
don't
was
like
weird, and I was
Kind of tasteless.
I don't know if ashamed is the right word, but I definitely felt.
See, I didn't watch that section, so I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I don't know what they were thinking showing that. Does that make any sense? Like,
yeah, no, I agree. And the first thing I thought when it appeared, I was like, they can't do that. Can they do that? Why are they doing that?
yeah. So anyway, they showed some more single player running, shooting things with bows, and then they also showed the 4-player cooperative mode, which it's not the same as the single player campaign,
Which actually kind of bums me out a bit.
Yeah, because that might be fun. But if it's at least a lengthy 4-player experience, then I could get behind that.
Their boss is like the coolest dude in the world too. His voice is amazing.
Oh, that dude with the beard and the super low voice.
Yeah, he's a cool ass dude.
Yeah, he is. Oh, we're gonna show the co-op for Far Cry. I don't know what I was doing there.
Alrighty.
Voice.
Oh, and the other thing that you forgot was Uncharted 5, a.k.a. Tomb Raider.
Oh, Tomb Raider, the torture porn simulator.
Yeah, which is
it's like an entire game where Lara Croft gets fucked up and
up. Reminder. Up.
Right, up. Where she gets beaten and bruised, stabbed, shot, and they are like really emphasizing how much it hurts her, which is...
She's so fragile! And you're like, okay, well what happens when she runs through this bramble bush? Oh! Whoa! That's not what I do.
It's almost too realistic for my taste, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't want to know how injured my protagonist is in a shooter.
Now, how old is Lara Croft in this game anyway? Isn't she really young?
I think this is like prequel to everything.
Okay, I thought maybe she was like 16. I was like, oh man, that's really bad. But 18.
There is a scene in the game that they have shown that they didn't show on this particular one, where a man is trying to force himself on her and she kills him, and it's the first person she's ever killed. So I think they're trying to give her character depth, but I think a lot of people are just going to be like, oh, ooh, people.
Yeah, there's a part in particular where she falls and lands on a twig or a branch or something, or like a
pencil,
rebar or something. I mean, it's
keys are in her pocket.
It's something sharp and pointy, and it goes like through her stomach on the side. She has to pull it out, and it's so graphic that it really makes me uncomfortable. I don't know if I'm going to be able...
Now, if it was a male protagonist, would you feel that way?
I'd be cheering, I'd be shooting some fireworks, I'd be like, yeah!
That's an excellent question. I don't think I would. I don't think I would care.
Because she is being portrayed as like a frail little girl. If it was like Marcus Phoenix, Sonny'd be like, yeah, you badass, rip that out of you.
I don't know if frail's the right
motherfucker
word.
Next with it, yeah.
I think vulnerable is probably a little bit better. She's more vulnerable in this game. And I think part of the reason that you feel uncomfortable, HP, and I'm no psychologist, but I think that you are not the type of person who thinks that hurting women is something that drives you. And I think that's why you in particular feel very uncomfortable about it, where it's just like, this seems excessive. This is excessive.
It is. It does seem excessive. And it's... I don't know. It's a little too graphic for my flavors. So I will more than likely be skipping Tomb Raider, unless I hear it's a experience not to be missed.
And that's a really good question, because with Last of Us, with Tomb Raider, with Splinter Cell, we're seeing a trend towards almost a new genre of gaming where they do all the work for you, and it's just like really heavily scripted and heavily guided as an experience, and less of something that you can play and pick apart.
Yeah,
I mean, it just feels like you're falling, you're stepping on all the right panels that the developers put in there to make certain things happen, instead of actually playing a game. It feels less gamey. And that, I just saw this from the videos. I can't comment because I obviously haven't played any of them, but...
No, I that was my problem with Uncharted 3, is that it felt too scripted and too narrow in terms of the path you could take. And they did that so that the visuals could be spectacular.
Right, they can concentrate on what's coming up in front of you instead of paying attention to everything you could possibly see.
And in some respects, I appreciate that. However, there is something to be said about a game like Saints Row the Third, whose graphics aren't that great, but you can go kind of anywhere and do anything, and truly open worlds are becoming.
You can make your own fun in it,
right?
Because you can set things up how you want. Whereas try to make your own fun in Uncharted 3. What's the best you're going to do? You're going to jump off a wall like 10 times.
Yeah, you're going to play multiplayer. You're not going to play the single player.
There's a lot of limits to what you can do, and I think that's really a shame on how all these big budget things are going. And even games like I'm imagining Assassin's Creed 3 is going to be full of this stuff. We saw that ship demo for Assassin's Creed 3, which looked fantastic.
Okay.
But we're only going to do this once.
That would be great, because that looked boring.
What? You didn't love it?
No! I don't go to Assassin's Creed to play a ship shooting simulator. That's stupid.
But I thought it looked really neat.
No!
I don't know, it was exciting, but it was also super scripted. So it's the kind of thing that I wouldn't like.
It seemed like you were only controlling when to fire the cannons. You weren't steering the boat, and you weren't aiming the shots.
Well, I mean, you can't really do both. The captain doesn't really aim the shots. The guy loading the cannon does.
Semantics.
Semantic.
So am I the... okay, let's boil this down, because we are running a little long in this episode. Favorite thing? Go.
Favorite thing.
The number one thing that you could take away from this show, and is your favorite. For me, it's not Gears of War Judgment, because they honestly did not show me enough. Assassin's Creed 3 looked really good, but I'd say at the end, I'm more interested in what's moving connectivity forward. And yes, F you all, Smart Glass is my favorite thing.
Well.
Wow.
I don't have to buy Smart Glass.
But that is what I am most interested in, because it's not going to cost me another cent, and it can enhance games. It really can, and it's still an optional thing.
And it's not like they're saying you have to have a Windows phone. They're saying it could work for your iPhone. It could work for your Android operating phone. They're really trying to make this work with what you have in your pocket.
They're making it extremely competitive towards the Wii U, which is basically gimmicking their version of it that can do more. The Wii U can do more with their second screen, but I think that they're going after people and saying, you're not going to need something new for this. Enjoy. And people will go, oh, well, damn!
Yeah, maybe if this works out well, the next Xbox will have Bluetooth, and you can hook up Bluetooth and actually use your phone as a second screen like that.
Well, and even then, Assassin's Creed, you've got somebody using that panel to keep track on the assassin missions going on for your Brotherhood and all that, if they were to go that route with the third one.
You should email them, be like, yo, check this out, do this.
Yeah, and it would be, or if you've got someone standing next to you, you're like, hey, can you, distribute my dudes for me? Is that fun? Thank you. Now I don't have to worry about it, where, it can be fun, but it makes passive gaming with somebody else there not so passive. They can actually do things and enjoy themselves, and I think that's really key. I know a lot of us don't go out and have friends come over and play games with you.
I don't have friends.
It's cool to have an extra thing that somebody can do.
I figured out what mine is, and we haven't even talked about this game yet. Star Wars 1313.
Really?
Ooh, I heard that's going to be extremely linear, straight line.
Well, it looks pretty badass, and
it does.
From what I've heard of everybody who's seen it in person, they say the compressed videos that we're getting on the internet don't do it justice, because it is that beautiful graphically. It looks like it's built for machines that have not yet been created yet. So,
that only exist in the window of your mind.
Right, your home desktop can't play this game yet. It's kind of that level of graphical fidelity, and I like the Star Wars universe, so long as we're not talking about the prequel movies. And this is kind of set after those.
Lisa, sorry.
Roger.
Game-wise, I'm excited for Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, because I love the first one. And this second one, Gabriel is actually bad. Not going to spoil too much. And there's this mysterious white-haired character who could be Alucard, and it looks really good.
So you're going to play this on the 3DS, right?
Well, that's Mirrors of Fate, and that looks interesting too, because one of the main characters in Mirror of Fate is Simon Belmont, who is the main protagonist in pretty much all of the original Castlevania games. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that in the new universe.
Probably spoilers. Sonny, game. Give me game. Game.
Game. That too.
Game.
It's not going to be Animal Crossing Wii U, I'll tell you that.
All right.
How
about a game that does?
Even though I was not really unimpressed, but ashamed of Far Cry 3's initial
booby
showing, yeah, I still think that if they retain anything from the feel of Far Cry 2, I'm going to be balls out, giant boner on board.
Just like if you had some topless girl on, yeah.
No,
gotcha.
It does.
What you trying to say?
It's coming full circle.
Regardless
what are you trying to say?
That awkward moment.
I'm trying to say you like pillows.
Okay. Regardless of that awkward moment, Far Cry 2 does look pretty good. And
luckily, it's only $2.50 on Steam, but if you want to graduate to Far Cry 3, $60.
Halo 2 was just released. Halo 2 was just released. Anyway.
So, favorites. What's it going to be?
And
did you pick yours?
None of us.
Yeah, I did. I said Far Cry 3.
Okay, everyone else has already said, honey.
Oh,
well, you were the last. Thanks for paying attention.
Now, what's the most embarrassing thing? Was it Wonder Book?
Well, none of us are going to buy the Wii U, so I have to say that might be the most embarrassing.
Really? You go that far? I think that they're a little downhill luge.
No, so it was either Wonder Book or the esports. It's the three things that I mentioned at the top of the show. It was Wonder Book, the awkward esports thing for Shoot Mania, and it was the Nintendo Land that they took way too much time on.
There's the Miiverse too. That looked pretty bad.
I don't mind the idea of the Miiverse, and a lot of people were saying, oh, well, how's it going to prevent people from drawing dicks all over your console? And apparently Nintendo's come out and said that every single message will be personally checked by a real person.
I can believe that, because Nintendo likes the children.
Yeah, they're not going... If I ever had a console where I could feel completely 100% comfortable with anyone of any age using it online, it would be the Wii. Nintendo has made it, and even though a lot of gamers are like, but it's so clunky to use, it is because they don't give you any freedom. If I have my mother, I put on my parental controls, she can still play online, and I say, here, enjoy this game of Halo 3. She can still play against somebody called Dick Snuggler 420.
Right.
Because they have managed to make that their name. Even just that is enough to twist somebody's mind a little bit. And Nintendo doesn't even give you that option. You have a number for your friend code. Fuck you! So, I've always kind of admired that in a way that they have made it nearly impossible for bullshit to make it through to you. Or your child, or your parents, or whoever it is. And I'm sure they're going to continue that. Nintendo's for the children.
Nintendo's for the children.
That's why I haven't owned a Nintendo console since SNES.
Why, you don't like good games? Is that a problem?
I just haven't owned one.
Nintendo's for the children, and episode 41 of the Games Only podcast has been for you lovely people.
It's for the people.
Thank you very much for listening to this kind of extended episode. We wanted to get some E3 talk in there, and we hope you have enjoyed. Please feel free to leave what you are most excited for, what you are most embarrassed about, in the comments wherever you may be listening to this episode, in the multiple areas where it's posted now.
And I'm thinking next week is going to be light on games, so if you have a question for us, ask. Maybe we'll get to it. Maybe we won't.
Maybe we won't.
No, it's a mystery.
It's a mystery. But yes, thank you so much for listening. I'd also like to thank my co-hosts, Dr. Gumar.
Why, thank you.
And Sunflower 4000.
41.
I have been 1703. Thank you so much again for listening, and we will talk at you next week.
Adios.
Vaya con Dios.
Oh, vaya con
Ciao,
Dios.
baby.
Ay,
Ciao.
Dios mío.
No.
Es el diablo.
Ayúdame! Ayúdame!